Several years ago, a successful businessman here in the United States was invited to give a speech at a major university. Now, I wasn't there, so I don't know about every detail, but this is the way it was told to me. He was flown there on a first-class ticket, put up in a five-star hotel, brought to the major university. They basically rolled out the red carpet for him, took him around, showed him, had him meet with the dignitaries, board members, and then they took him to their big basketball auditorium where he was going to deliver a speech to the student body and community members. The auditorium holds about 20,000 people. I'm told that it was almost full. They got there, the dignitaries were up on the stand. If I told you the name of the businessman, you'd know his name. He stood to speak after the president's introduction. He said, "Before I get started, I want to ask you all a question. How many of you, by a raise of hands, how many of you in this audience today are going to change the world? How many of you you're going to change it? You're going to make a real difference. You're going to change the world." Could I see by a raise of hands? 6 individuals raised their hand. Now, that's a lot less than 1%. We're somewhere between 15 and 20,000 people. 6 people raised their hand. They were all young people. There were a lot of professors there. There were administrators. There were community members. These 6 people raised their hand. And he said, "Would you please come down here?" His subject, by the way, was something along the lines of becoming the leaders of the 21st century. This was in the late 90s. So the 6 came down. The speaker turned around and he kicked the dignitaries off the stand, and he arranged 7 chairs in a circle. And then he sat down with the 6 individuals and began to talk. Well, if you've been in one of the auditoriums, you know that it can get loud in there, and it did. So after a minute, as the decibel level got high, he went to the microphone and he said, excuse me, he got everybody's attention. They said, "That's an interesting gimmick. Now we'll see what he's going to say." He said, "Would you keep it down? I'm trying to lead a seminar here on becoming the leaders of the 21st century. Thanks a lot." And he went and sat down with them and began to talk with them. It got loud again. A few people trickled out. It got loud. It was disturbing him. He went back to the microphone. He said, "Could I have your attention, please?" And everyone quieted down. He said, "Would you do me a favor? Would you all leave? You're disturbing us. I'm trying to lead a seminar here on becoming the leaders of the 21st century. Go away." And he went back and started talking to the 6, and everybody got up, and after a few minutes, they were all gone. I'm told that the president of the university came and stood there by the circle and see what are these guys talking about. They'd paid this guy a 5-figure sum to come give a speech. He stopped, said, "Did you raise your hand?" "Well, no. Would you excuse us? I'm trying to lead a seminar here on becoming the leaders of the 21st century. So before I start today, I want to ask you all a question. How many of you are going to change the world?